Yes, welcome back to the second stanza of the program, The Conversation, coming to you live from TV 360 here in Lagos, Nigeria. I still remain Nelson Ekujumi, and I have here with, I'm a public affairs analyst, and I have here with me my friend and my brother, Comrade Ziggy Ibi. Comrade Ziggy, on this second stanza of the program, we want to look at President Bola Tinubu Largesse to the Academic Staff Union of Universities. You recollect that in 2022, the Academic Staff Union of Universities went on a protracted industrial action for over 8 months. And in line with the policy of no work, no pay, the then administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari withheld their salaries for those 8 months that they were not in classes, as provided for by law. And even when they went to the industrial arbitration panel, that's the industrial court, the court affirmed that the government was on the part of, the rule of law in withholding the salaries for 8 months. And ever since then, the Nigerian Labour Congress, the TUC, as well as other well-meaning Nigerians, have continued to, appeal to the government to have a compassionate eyes to look at the plight of the lecturers and forgive and forget. And surprisingly, just last week, news broke that President Bola Tinubu has approved the release of 4 months magnanimity out of his magnanimous,
out of the 8 months.
Yes, out of the 8
salary
months
that was withheld.
It was not that they were being owed. It was money that they didn't deserve.
Yeah, because they didn't work for it.
They were not in classes.
Yes, they were not.
Even though some of them said, they have other functions apart from attending classes. But we all know that the primary responsibility of a lecturer is to go to the classroom to teach.
Nelson, let me quickly say here that NLC as a body and other society groups who had agitated, rightly or wrongly, on certain issues had misled a lot of workers. And one of the ills of so many of this agitation was empowering the civil servants not doing the right thing. Because arising from those beliefs were reasons why the civil servants had the audacity to lock gates behind an appointed minister.
That's an affront to constitutional authority.
You understand? And those were what gave rise, the NLC and the other CLOs gave rise or gave them those impetus to do those, because a worker deserves his or her pay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it doesn't come cheap or free. It is the numbers of hours you put in that merited you that amount.
Yeah.
And the law is, if you did not work, there will be no pay.
Even the Holy Book justifies
even the Holy Writ justifies it.
Yeah,
that a slothful servant doesn't deserve any pay.
Yeah.
Who is a slothful servant? You didn't work for what you are paid.
Yes.
But unfortunately, we have a system that actually graduates people to certain knowledge that are unfounded.
Well, let's believe that this magnanimity of President Bola Tinubu is due to the fact that we all know that lecturers, their responsibility is not only to teach.
Yes.
They supervise.
Moral.
They supervise thesis.
Sure.
Maybe at the undergraduate and the postgraduate
That's
level.
it.
They also engage in some other academic activities that does not necessarily have to do with
within the class,
being in classroom alone. But be that as it may, as much as we want to commend President Bola Tinubu for this large-heartedness, we must sound a note of warning to
that
workers.
It shouldn't be repeated.
Yes.
And this should excite them enough not to pander with the Nigerian Labour Congress. Yes, because that is where their support base comes from. Most times they will call on these people. You remember NLC and TUC, they will always want to tinker with other groups. And you know what? Each time NLC declares an industrial action,
all these people will join.
Yeah. Because they'll tell you their appendages.
Yeah.
And that that is where they want to interface and create loophole, then giving government a bad name. Okay, so having lost, that's why I say in this part of the country we are not too good with history. Otherwise, having lost 8 months' salary, if not that 4 had been is being asked to be paid now, is enough to teach whoever that look, each time I go on
industrial
action, I lose certain privileges. But if all privileges are given or granted, even when you are doing the wrong thing, it gives you an impetus to do more.
Yes.
That laxity will always be there.
I agree with you. I think it is important, like we have admonished our Nigerian people, like I always say on every program I appear, that the way we read our Bible and our Quran, we should endeavor to use that same effort to be reading the Constitution. The Constitution is the Bible of the country. Then the workers as well, we need to admonish them to look at their contractual engagement with their employers,
because every job has its own specifications.
Yes.
He has outlines.
Because when the federal government will tell that 8 month salaries, they went to court.
It was in line.
Yes, the
with the engagement of their job. But you know they did not know.
Well,
so many did not know because they were priding on jumping into NLC's train so that they could they thought they would win. But when they went to industrial action, what happened? Ziggy, they were asked.
Ziggy, if people of high intellect in the ivory towers can descend that low not to know,
imagine,
then we are in trouble.
We are in big trouble. And that is the truth. The truth remains that in as much as you don't know the things or the things that brought you to a particular position, because there are rules
governing every relationship, yes.
Governing every position,
yes.
every destination, every work.
Yes, yes.
You know, each time I urge them to go through those procedures. In fact, before you are engaged, there are certain things you were asked to do. There are some things you were asked not to do. Flouting them means you have to lose certain degrees of allowances.
Yes.
Okay? Some benefits.
Yes.
So you losing them and thinking that you still gain them going to the court is the highest unknowledgeable thing you can do.
Honestly, you couldn't have put it better. I want just hope that Nigerians themselves are watching and listening, and that Nigerians will take it upon themselves that whenever there's any engagement, whether between citizens,
even in private sectors,
or between citizens and government,
yes,
that we need to go and check.
Go through the letters of
yes,
the
what does the law say?
What does the law say?
People should stop running based on what somebody has said.
Based on sentiments, based on believing, yes, based on emotions, then Bola, what you heard.
Yes.
And most of the hearings are not true.
They are not true. They are
and totally... each time NLC come up with this protracted endless strikes, it doesn't because most NLC themselves, each time they go, in fact, I can remember many times NLC had gone to court and they were won many times. This same NLC that could not produce any. Now,
thank you very much for
thank you for having me on this program.
It's been a pleasure having you on this program.
Thank you so much. Again. Thank you so much.
Well, our viewers, we thank you for staying into the conversation today, or coming to you, that has come to you live from TV 360 here in Lagos, Nigeria. Till we come your way again next time, please continue to watch the conversation on TV 360. Thank you and bye-bye.